Hey, how you doing today? Welcome to another episode of Open Doors. It's your boy Chris Harris. I'm so thankful that you took the time to check out this episode of Open Doors. Before we do anything, before we get started with anything, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now. If you haven't done so already, subscribe because we're dropping episode after episode, week in and week out. So you don't have to search, you don't have to look around, but each week it'll come right to you. Also, share this episode and hit that like button. All right, all right. I have a interesting topic that I want to share with you. This topic, I believe, will make you say, I believe this topic is going to change your perspective in regards to yourself. But the first thing I want to do, I want to share a video clip with you. Now, this video clip is from a fighter, a woman fighter, MMA, UFC, cage fighting in the UK. And I want you to I want to play this clip for you, and then we'll discuss.
I think after the first round, I realised that she was a lot tougher than I was expecting. Although I expected her to be tough, I just expected her to show a bit more tiredness. It didn't go the way I wanted, but I was still happy that I went all the 5 rounds. It may not look like it, I enjoyed the whole process and I enjoy being in the ring and challenging myself. If I could fight Britt again, I think what I do is, although I fought the way I like to fight, I backed off a little bit more than maybe I should have, and I probably tried to do other things that I wouldn't normally do.
Now, the video, my goodness, did you see did you see this woman? The video is the interview for the woman after her fight. Her name, I believe, is Melissa Shaw or Michelle Shaw. I forgot the name, but she's from the UK. And obviously, we can tell that she lost the fight. I mean, this woman, like, she got her behind whooped in this fight. But she says something, though. She says something. She says something. You seen the video. You seen the video. You seen the clip. I remember turning it on. I was like, watching it. Like, it scared me. It scared me. But looking at her all beat up, looking at her all battered and broken, I mean, it looked like she got her behind whooped. You looking like, did you even scratch her? You know, when I was looking at the video clip, it automatically took me back to, if you ever watched the Martin Lawrence show, when he had to fight Tommy Hitman Hearns in a boxing match, and he got his behind whooped, and at the end of the show, his face had ballooned up. You didn't even recognize him. That's what this reminded me of, because the woman, I'm sure the people who know her, you couldn't even recognize her. But she says something in the clip, though. She said, even though you can tell that she lost, even though you can tell that she lost pretty bad, you can tell that she really got beat, but she said she enjoyed the process. She said she challenged herself. She said she learned a lot of things from the fight. She was saying that there were some things that she did that she shouldn't have. There were some things that she did in the fight that she shouldn't have. She said she was expecting the other fighter to get tired, but the other fighter didn't get tired. So she was saying that she enjoyed the process. So here is the question for you. Here is the question for you for today. Because the woman lost. She lost this fight. She failed. She failed in the ring. She lost this fight. But the question is failure actually failure? That's the topic. Is failure actually failure, or is it all about perspective? Because the woman failed in this match. She lost. She was defeated in this match. But she's standing there in front of the cameras after taking a big loss, and she's saying, I enjoy the process. So I want us to talk about this for a second, because is failure actually failure, or is it all about perspective? You know, when I was looking at this video, it brought to mind the commercial with Michael Jordan. And before we go any further, I just want to play that commercial for you.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
11, 10, Jordan a drive, hangs, fires, yes! Bulls win the title! The Bulls are the world champs again!
I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed.
So just looking at the lady's her video clip after her match, it automatically brought me back to the commercial with Michael Jordan. Because we see the 6 championships that Michael Jordan won. We see the MVPs and we see the game-winning shots and we see all the accolades that Michael Jordan had and the impact that Michael Jordan had in the NBA. We see the success of Michael Jordan, but a lot of times we don't see the failures. In the commercial, he was talking about it, how many times he's taken the game-winning shot and he lost. You know, a lot of times we point to the 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, but before those 6 championships, they were losing. But it was a step to success. So I asked the question, is failure, or is it all about perspective? Because I believe failure is only failure if you quit. I believe failure is only failure if you say, "What, I'm not doing it anymore," if you throw in the towel. But if you keep going, that what we call failure is actually a stepping stone to your success. And just look at Michael Jordan. Just look at the Chicago Bulls. Just look at those dynasty teams, because Jordan and the Bulls were losing. They would lose to the Boston Celtics. They would lose to the Detroit Pistons. I know a lot of you don't want to remember those days. You just want to talk about the 6 championships. But it was a process, because the Bulls were losing to the Detroit Pistons. They couldn't get over the Detroit Pistons, the bad boy Pistons. They couldn't beat the Boston Celtics. But each time they went against them, they got better. They competed more with them. They got better and they got better till they got over that hump. So that losing or that failure, quote unquote, became a stepping stone to that success. So back to the woman. The woman, yeah, she took a beating. She took a beating, but she's standing there with understanding, I believe, because the Bible said, "In all thy getting, get understanding." I was watching the video, and like I said, I was horrified when I was looking at her face. I was like, "Oh my goodness, look at her face." It startled me. But then I said, because is it all about perspective? Because she's saying that she enjoyed the process. She said that this woman who she fought against was the champion. Okay? She's the champion. She said, "Oh, I challenged myself." So she knew that she was fighting against the champion. And the person who's the champion didn't get to become a champion overnight. So she said, "I challenged myself." But she said, but as I challenged myself, I learned something. And she said that I realized she thought the other lady would get tired. The other lady would get fatigued. But the lady didn't get fatigued. So I believe that the woman there is learned from herself is that, hey, I have to keep building my endurance. Yes, I have to keep building my endurance. She said there were some things that I did that I shouldn't have done. I believe that she learned something there. She said, okay, I learned something. The moves that I did, the counter offensive that I had to try to defeat this woman who's a champion, it failed. But I believe that it wasn't failure, but she was actually getting an education. She was actually sharpening herself. I remember when Canelo Alvarez, I'm big into boxing as well. I remember Canelo Alvarez, a young Canelo Alvarez, he fought the champion, Floyd Mayweather, and he lost. But it wasn't a failure. You know, people can look at it and say, oh, it's a failure. But I believe that Canelo Alvarez, a young Canelo Alvarez, he learned something in that fight that was a stepping stone to his career. And if you look at Canelo Alvarez's career now, he's had a successful career. But in that moment, people may dismiss, oh, you failed. No, but it's not failure if you have the right perspective. If you have the right perspective. If you have the right perspective, it's a stepping stone to your success. So people might laugh at this woman and say, hey, you know, oh, you got your behind whooped. But this woman is telling you something. This woman is telling me something that it's not failure to her. And no, but it's a stepping stone to her success. Watch, pretty soon we'll probably see this woman herself as the champion because she went against the champion. She went against the best. And she said, I learned something. Yeah, I lost, but I actually learned a lot about myself. And I actually learned a lot of what it takes to be a champion. So I want to bring that to our own self, to our own life, because a lot of times we face failures. A lot of times we face disappointment. We expect things to go a certain way and it doesn't. You know, my daughters play softball and they're big in the softball circuit. They're big in the travel softball circuit. And a lot of times I tell them the same thing. I say, when you lose, don't try to throw in the towel. Don't think, oh, we lost this game or we lost this tournament or we're losing these games that you want to quit. Because then it's failure. It's only failure if you stop. It's only failure if you quit, if you throw in the towel. But if you use that loss to just learn more about yourself and learn more about what it takes to get better as a player in this particular instance or as a team, you're going to keep getting better. You're going to keep sharpening yourself. You're going to keep stepping up to the place that you want to be. But a lot of times we do just that. We quit because we want instant gratification. We want something instantaneously. We don't want to wait. We don't want to go through the process. But this woman in the video, she said, you know what? I enjoyed the process. I took a beating, but I learned so much in that ring that's going to make her better the next time she steps into the ring with another fight. I'm telling you, by the time, maybe give it a year or two, give it 2 years, we'll probably see this woman as a champion because she's willing to step in. She took her hits. She got knocked down, but she said, you know what? I learned a lot today. I'm enjoying the process. Can you do the same thing in your life? There may be something that you're trying to achieve. There may be something that you're trying to obtain, and you may fail. But I said failure is not failure if you don't stop. Failure is only failure if you stop, but if you keep going, can you use that failure to learn? Can you use that failure to grow? Sometimes we can go into a particular a job opportunity. We interview for a job. We interview for a position. Let's say it's a promotion. Even at your job, you interview for it, but you don't get the job. Are you willing to go to the ones who are doing the interviewing and ask a question? What can I do better? Is there anything I can do better? Is there anything I missed? Because when you do that, you're stepping up. You're stepping up. You're learning more about yourself. You're giving yourself an opportunity to improve. Can you do that? A lot of times we can't because we want it now. We didn't get the job. We're mad at the whole world, and we might even leave in that particular place. But can you say, let me take this to grow? Let me take this opportunity where it may seem like a failure, but it's actually for my benefits, actually to help me get better. Can we do that? I believe that we can enjoy the process. Whatever that you're doing, take that time, enjoy it, learn, begin to sharpen yourself. If you need to study something, study to make yourself better. Because at the end of the day, when you look back and you see the bumps that you took, you see the time that you spent having to perfect your craft, it will be sweeter and it will be that much better. Can you enjoy the process? That's all I have for you today on this topic, but I want to know your thoughts on this. Because yeah, I saw the video clip and I was like, first thing it do, I said it knocked me back looking at the lady's face, that I knew that she had really took a beating in the ring. But when she started to talk about how she enjoyed the process and how she learned this and she learned that, it made me think. I said, hey, failure actually is not failure if you have the right perspective. Because this woman said, I took something from this loss. You may lose in certain things. You may lose in certain deals. You may lose in certain opportunities. But can you take that loss and actually build towards your success? Talk to me. Talk to me. What's your thoughts on this? What's your opinion on this? Don't forget to share this episode. Before I get out, like I always do, I want to give a shout out to the Dream Team. Blessed Dream Production, my boy Alfred, Eyes Have Not Seen, my sister Marilyn. Remember, like this episode, connect with me on Instagram, Chris Harris. And until the next time, be blessed. Thank you.
Don't ever take nothing for granted, man. Hey, you gotta wake up and realize that